back again with the next step in my creation here. I'm working on this year's travel junk journal, and I have been working on little by little, showing you step by step how I am putting my book together. And today I am going to add more pages to my signatures, which I think because I'm filming as I'm going, I don't remember right now, but I think I told you I was only gonna do 2 signatures because although the book is kind of big, or there is a big gap in here, you know, I don't want it to grow too much opening up this way as I fill up, you know, with photos and stuff. But although I've switched from 2 signatures to 3, it is still the same amount of pages, right? No, I added 1 more because originally I had 7 pages in each signature, so they would have been 14. And what I've done now is I added 1 more page to make it 15, and then I divided the 15 into 5. Oops, I am good at math, I promise you. I've divided the 15 sheets into 3, which means 5 pages in each book. There you go. So 3 times 5 equals 15. See, I know what I'm doing. So again, I've only added 1 more sheet, so I'm still keeping everything small. But with that being said, I am adding more texture and different pages inside each of the signatures. Now, I am not going to repeat the same materials or the same media that I'm using in each one, because then again, each one will get way too bulky. So what I've decided to do is I've grabbed a few things. This is a pocket, pocket sheet. It's an 8.5 by 11 that I bought at Staples. It's an office supply store here in California, and it has the opening is, if you were to put this in a binder, you know, this is where the holes are, so you would put this page inside, and so the pocket goes in this direction rather than on top, or maybe even this side, because this way I believe it protects whatever you're carrying in here from falling out. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to add this pocket thingy in one of the signatures. So they're not all gonna have the same thing, but I want to remove the little spine here, which is what holds the holes where you would insert it into a binder. So I'm going to trim that off so that I'm left with basically just a plastic pocket. And measure twice, cut once, right? So there it is. There's my pocket. Now the question is, how am I going to add it? Because we talked about this at the beginning of me making this book, that the size is very odd. Therefore, my sheets are also very odd. But look at that. I think that, oh no, this is not gonna work. I should have done better research because it's too tall. It's gonna be way too tall, but I can still make it work. I know I can. So I thought if I fold it in half, because it's at 8.5 by 11, that would give me a 5.5 and 5.5 inch pocket on either side. But if I have to cut it, I can always stitch it. I'm going to use my sewing machine to stitch at the bottom. That's what I'm going to do, and I will still be able to use this as a clear pocket, because that's kind of the cool thing about it, that it's going to end up being clear. So the opening of the pocket is up here already, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my excess over here, and I know that my book, it's 8 inches tall, so I have to cut it at 8 inches. And that's gonna solve my problem. It is still gonna work as a pocket, and the stitching will add just a fun little accent. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to fold it in half, And then I'm just gonna add it. I'll probably add it to the center. I think the center is a good spot, or maybe not, because then whatever I put in here, you'll be able to see, versus if I put it in between, let's say here, then the pockets will be in different sections of the book. So yeah, I think I like that better. So when you get to here, you will flip, and this will be a page. There'll be a stitch running down the bottom, and then this will create my clear pocket, and then I will have an equal pocket on the other side. So that's one extra sheet that is going in this signature, and I've decided to add one of these sheets, which is a little bit taller, but that's okay. I can trim that. Now, the cool thing about this, it's a 11 by 17. So whatever I want to do, it doesn't matter. I can, because it's so long, I will be able to have a fold out sheet. So if I want to make it 8 inches on one side, because that's how wide the widest page is inside the book, right? So there we go there. So that would only give me 9. Did I say 17, right? So 17, no, it's 11. So if I want to make it 8, so yeah, 9. So I would make 1 and 8 and 1 and 9. That's not going to work, because that's not going to give me enough folding to make a tip-in. I guess I should start by deciding how wide do I want my tip-in to be. And then whatever I have left over, I can just fold that section in half. So I think a good size tip-in to put photos in, I think 5 inches is fine, right? So if I put my crease here for my tip-in, say my page is gonna fold in like this. What I have left is 12, perfect. I can go at 6 inches and do my next crease. And that's gonna be where I'm going to stitch my page. But before I do that, I'm going to cut the excess, because I know it's too tall. That's 8.5, and I need it to be 8, so I have to cut 1/2 inch, right? So there's my other page, and that will be my tip-in. Now, I can do the same dimensions and recreate 2 more of these and just add it to each one of the other 2 signatures. So this one, let's see, where would I add that one? I think here is fine. And I might move things around, I don't know. Now, if I put it this way, then my tip-in would open that way. I think I'm going to do it like that. So now this insert has an additional 2 sheets, so that's 7. So this thing, it is growing. See what else I have here. I have a vellum sheet. I have this burlap, which for a tropical Hawaii theme, I think this is perfect. So I absolutely want to add that. I have a acetate. That's what this is called. It's really thick, and I'm concerned that when I fold it, it's gonna take a while for it to stay put. It's gonna wanna keep opening, you know, because it's so stiff. So I'm gonna put this one aside for a second, and I will think about adding it to one of them. So I could add one of those to one book and one of these vellum sheets to another one, and then a large doily to one, and then one more of these to each. So I'm a Libra. I want things to be even and balanced. So if I added, wait, how many did I add here? I just added 2. This one would have 3 and this one would have 2. I'm gonna have to live with that because again, I'm worried about making them too chunky. They won't look as chunky now, but they will once I start adding all my photos and everything else. So, but what I should do is, because this burlap is thicker, I should only add 2 things to that book rather than 3. And then I will do whichever one gets the vellum will also get the doily because the vellum is kind of thin. So yeah, that sounds like a plan. So I'm gonna cut this guy now, my burlap, and it's a 12 by 12, but as we know, my book is 8 by 8, so I have to cut 4 inches of the top. Wow, that's, whoever did this cutting not do a good job. It's all crooked. So let me go this way. So that one's gonna be 8 inches there. Will this cut? I don't know. Oh, I'm afraid. Oh, kinda did. I don't know why I thought it would. When I could have just cut it with scissors, but now I have a little mark here that I can just kind of follow. And if it frays, that's okay, because that's kind of part of the beauty of the burlap. And I'm sure I will use this as accent on one of the other books. So that way they all might get a little bit of burlap in them. So I'm gonna add that to this one. Now I've chosen specific papers on the outside because those will be kind of like my covers. This would make a cute cover though, but because it's so floppity flop, I think I want it to be inside. And if I fold it in half, that's only gonna be 6 inches, but I think because of what this is going to be best to do it in half rather than offset like I have done some of the other pages. So let's go here. That's so pretty and it adds such beautiful texture. See how that's gonna look. You're not even gonna be able to see it until you flip through the book. So that's 2. I hope I don't change my mind and make a mistake when all the pages are in. So what did I say? It was 5 inches for the tip in. And then at 6 inches, so that each sheet is only 6 inches wide. And then I have to trim it. Oh, I only have to cut ½ an inch. Here, when my blade comes off, okay, I should do the other one. I should do all my cutting now. So let's do the vellum, 8 inches tall. And again, I think I'm gonna leave it as just scored it in half and leave it as 6 by 6 because all my other pages are kind of odd sizes. Now this page has the inside or the front, it's got a little bit of gold, if you can see that, a little gold foiling going on. And then the other side is just a matte finish. And that's okay. So there's the other one. Now, this guy might not work. So let's see if I will be able to add it or not. I know I can. It's just that sometime I have something in mind and then it doesn't look the way I thought it would or it should, and then I change my mind. This guy gets that, this guy gets that, and this guy gets that. That guy got the burlap. I just gotta do one more of these. And then I will be done, and I will be working on some stitching. I am going to be doing some embellishing to the pages before I bind them to the back of, to the inside of the book, because certain things it's easier to do when the sheets are loose instead of once they're inside and bound inside your cover. Okay, so there's the last one, so I can put this guy away so you guys can see a little bit better. Okay, so this guy got the burlap, so it would open like this. Next page, next page, next. I hate to put two blanks right next to each other, but they're not gonna end up being blank, I promise. So I'm gonna do that one here. Trying to keep everything together. And yeah, the burlap definitely added a lot more bulk. You can feel it. And this guy has the plastic, so the plastic pockets, and it didn't add too much weight as much as the burlap did to that one. So I'm glad that I've only added 2 extra sheets to that one. So let's see what happens to this one. And I'll go, oops, it's upside down. This guy goes like this. Because this is probably gonna be the one that's gonna go on the back. This one's probably gonna go in the center. And this one is gonna go on the front. Because this is what you will see as soon as you open the book. And this will be the last page in the book. So that's the way I've decided these guys, the order which they will go. So I'm going to add my vellum one here. And this guy, I want to add, these look so pretty next to each other, but I want to, you know, kind of keep things, all the patterns separated and not have too much pattern, especially if they are not coordinating as well right next to each other. So having a blank page kind of breaks things up. And of course, when you add your embellishments and your photos, you're really not even going to see the white pages. I am not scared of white pages. I love them because they are basically an endless opportunity for my creativity to just go nuts. And this guy, I've decided I want it in the middle. Now, I think it would be best if I cut that part off rather than centering it and then cutting like that. I don't know. Maybe this might be better because gives me an even amount of space almost all the way around. Rather, if I do that, then you see this empty corner here. So I think that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and center this guy as best I can, like so. And then I'm going to cut that. I'm kind of afraid of cutting it now. I feel like I should stitch it first and then cut the excess. It's pretty much almost the entire circle. So this part was going to give it away that is an actual doily. So I'm gonna take my time and think about if I'm going to trim that excess now or later. There are my 3 signatures now with the extra pages. So 2 of them have 7 sheets, 1 of them has 8. So you can see it's getting thicker and thicker already. All 3 signatures are ready to go. It's time to start adding all the embellishments. I can't wait to share that with you. See you in the next lesson.